Hello there everybody, it's Spacer back again today, and this is going to be our breakdown / review for the finale part 1 and 2 of Star Wars The Bad Batch. I know this video is way late, I was on vacation and could not find the time to get these videos up there, so I've combined both part 1 and 2 into this one video, and I'm probably going to skip most of the breakdown. You guys have seen the episode, and I'm already a week late, so I'm just going to talk about some highlights, the things that I really enjoyed, and give you guys my review. Without further ado, let's get right to it. 3, 2, 1. Okay, the first thing that I want to talk about is the music in episode 15. Getting to hear the same music from episode 2, Attack of the Clones, when we first see Kamino, and then getting to hear it again as we travel back to it for one last time, it was absolutely awesome. I used to play LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga all the time on my Wii, and just hearing this theme, I felt like I was playing that mission again with Obi-Wan and Jango Fett. But I do want to break down these episodes in the fastest way possible, just in case there is somebody out there watching this video that hasn't seen it, although I'm not sure why, there is spoilers. But anyway, essentially, after episode 14, where Hunter is captured by the Empire, Crosshair takes him back to the Kaminoan facilities, and the rest of the Bad Batch have to travel back to Kamino to go and save him. And one of the best things about both of these episodes was all of the interactions and exchanges between all the members of the Bad Batch. It was just awesome, especially with Omega. And when we got to see, the secret lab where the Bad Batch was created, and Omega is telling them, the story of how they were built and how she was right there, you kind of forget that Omega is actually older than them, and I think that's a really interesting dynamic. And in this episode, we also get the return of the droid AZ, who we first saw back in the Clone Wars working with Fives, where he was also in the premiere of the Bad Batch as well. But I was really happy to see him again, and he continues onward into episode 16, where I think he was the champ of that episode. But I'm really hoping that he becomes the Bad Batch's version of C-3PO. Anyway, skipping forward a bunch, they do eventually wind up confronting Crosshair, and Crosshair winds up taking out all of his teammates, and he tries to recruit the Bad Batch to work with him again for the Empire. And I thought the twist that he actually had his inhibitor chip removed was really good, really well done. It caught me way off guard. There was a lot of speculation as to whether or not he actually did remove it or not, but I believe one of the executives, as of me making this video, has confirmed that he did take it out, so that is a very huge shock. But now this is where the real tears kick in, because as the Bad Batch are trying to escape the facility with Crosshair, we're unfortunately living through the final moments of Kamino, and we get all of these shots of the empty corridors and the cafeteria and everything, and it was a lot to take in. It was a very emotional moment, such a poignant way to signify, the end of the Clone Wars, the Empire taking hold. And as somebody that grew up with the Clone Wars, we grew up with Kamino, and we grew up with the clones, and the clones are the ones to, fire on their home. Admiral Rampart gives them the go-ahead after Tarkin, says, you may fire when ready. This classic line. That was another cool nod as well. But, this was a very, very, emotional moment, just watching them fire down on Kamino and then having it sink into the sea. And so now we're at the end of episode 15, and as the Bad Batch finally make it out of the facility, they see all of this destruction unfolding. Their home is being destroyed, and they're forced to run back inside. And as we move on into episode 16, part 2 of the finale, we pick up right where we left off. The cloning facility is still sinking, and the Bad Batch are still trapped inside, and they're trying to escape. Now, I've seen a lot of people say that they were disappointed with this episode, and I'm just a little bit confused as to why that is, because me personally, I see part 2 of this finale as an epilogue to, the grander finale that was part 1. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think a lot of people are missing the point of the Bad Batch. The focus of this finale was on the Bad Batch, these characters, the dynamic between them, and I think it did an excellent job at concluding the story that they were trying to tell for season 1. One of my biggest highlights was all of the interactions between Omega and Crosshair, and I liked how it called back to the premiere of the show. I think some people just need to realize that not every show or finale is going to have a surprise here or cameo there. You can have a solid finale that is character driven without some major action piece or, huge surprise. One of the best moments in this entire episode was just an exchange between 3 of the characters. Wrecker says to Crosshair, "Why didn't you at least try to come back? We would have taken you back in." And then Tech says something, and Crosshair's like, "Why are you defending me?" And Tech is like, "I'm not. I understand you. It doesn't mean I agree with you." Small moments like that really made this episode. Now, I do want to go on record, however, and say that I think it would have been a lot better if they had just combined both Part 1 and 2 of the finale into a larger episode, rather than make the fans wait an entire week for Part 2, which was arguably not as intense as the first. Now, I personally don't have a problem with that, but I do think it would have been better if they had just combined the two. Now, I also want to talk about this very brief moment where one of the clone troopers is giving a report to Admiral Rampart. There is hesitancy in this clone's voice. You can clearly tell that he regrets sinking his home in the Kaminoan facilities. And this is not the first time that we've seen a clone in the show with a distrust for the Empire. Obviously, we have Captain Hauser, but, Captain Rex, the Bad Batch as well, and I really hope that all of these threads come together at one point to form some type of clone rebellion. I think they're definitely hinting towards that. Obviously, it didn't happen in Season 1, but maybe it could happen in Season 2 or onward. I just really hope that they do something with that. Anyway, skipping forward a bit, the Bad Batch do ultimately come up with the plan to escape the sinking facility. They hop into the same tubes that they were cloned in, and AZ guides them to the surface. And I just want to talk about AZ for a second, because he really was the champ of this episode, and I hope he sticks around as, like I said in the beginning of the video, I want him to become the Bad Batch's version of C-3PO. He could be best pals with Gonki or something. And the reason he's the champ is because he totally sacrificed himself to save Omega and the rest of the members of the Bad Batch. And, his primary mission objective is the health and safety of those guys. And, the callbacks to Season 5 of the Clone Wars, it was awesome. And I'm really really happy that he didn't actually die. You know, Crosshair winds up saving him and Omega. Some people said it would have been a little bit more emotionally impactful if he did perish with Kamino, and I can kind of see that, but I'm just happy that he's alive. But now we're at the final part of the finale, and Crosshair still ultimately decides not to go back with the Bad Batch. He sticks with the Empire. That is his greater purpose, and I do hope eventually, maybe in Season 2 or onward, that he does reunite with the Bad Batch. He realizes his mistakes, but for now, he is sticking with the Empire. But before the episode ends, we get this huge tease for the future. Nala Se is being escorted by clone commandos into this secret hidden Imperial base, and it has been confirmed as of me making this video that that is Mount Tantiss. Now this alone definitely warrants its own theory video if I can find the time to make it. However, if you don't know what Mount Tantiss is, it has been pulled right from the expanded universe, which is now called Legends, the Thrawn trilogy. It was the secret hidden Imperial cloning facility used for a bunch of different, things that I just really don't have time to talk about in this video, but I think in current canon it's going to have huge ramifications for the sequel trilogy and Grogu from The Mandalorian. All in all, I really enjoyed The Bad Batch. I think this was a great first season. I can't wait for Season 2. Sure, this season may have had a couple episodes that maybe weren't the greatest, but, out of all the Star Wars TV shows, I think this one definitely had the best first impression. Now, as for my rating for the finale, I think I would give both of these episodes a 9 out of 10, and I give it a 9 out of 10 because I'm looking at both of these episodes as one larger episode combined. But definitely let me know what you guys think. That's going to do it for this video. I really can't wait for The Bad Batch Season 2 and all of the other Star Wars content coming out for the future. If you guys are new here, definitely hit that subscribe button. My name is Casey Swacer, SW Wacer, whatever you want to call me. I'm just a guy that likes talking about Star Wars. But yeah, definitely leave a like, drop a comment, and until next time, may the Force be with you all, always.